Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today you've tuned into my video series called Waaay Out Wednesdays. The acronym is WOW. And thanks so much for tuning in. I have a long playlist of videos where every week on Wednesday, I tackle a new metaphysical subject, everything from Sasquatch to parallel lives to soul contracts. I mean, you name it, I've covered it. And today we're going to talk about aliens. Now, I think I have a video about aliens somewhere in my playlist. I'm sure I do. I have a complicated history with aliens that is still being sorted out because, yes, I'm an experiencer, if you want to call it that. I would just say that I was abducted against my will, and I still have feelings about that I haven't quite worked through with my alien-oriented therapist, right? And I'm kidding only about the therapist. If any of you are alien-oriented therapists, leave a comment below. But today we're going to talk about something that my spirit guide suggested that I do for my Waaay Out Wednesday video series. If you're new here, yes, I'm a psychic and a medium, but I'm also a channel. So I kind of communicate to my spirit guides consciously, meaning they're communicating with me right now. When I do my videos, it's usually about a 60-40 split, meaning they get 60% of my abilities, my faculties, my mind, my senses, my psychic senses. This is how they send me information, thoughts, feelings, visuals, all of that gets put into the hopper. Out hopefully comes some words that make some kind of sense, because the 40% of Susan is all there is to make sense of that information and to get it to you, right? So you're going to see it in real time. If you've watched me before, you see me stop, back up, restate, and frankly, let's just face it, argue with my spirit guides, okay? Now, I was just, I don't know, right? I'm human. I am not an ascended master. I am a basic, I have the basic model human anatomy, basic model human model, just the model. Like they're just showing me, well, this is your model. Like you chose this. Okay, well, next time I'll choose better. But right now, here we are doing the best we can with what we got. Nobody tells you this stuff when you're up there. You have all these other grandiose ideas about what you're going to do when you get down here. And then you think, yeah, I'm going to choose this body and these parents and this birth date for this astrology and this numerology and this personality and this country and this race. And yeah, this is going to be the perfect combination of things for me to really tackle those things I really want to learn and I want to experience when I incarnate as a human. My advice is don't do that. Rating 2.0. Okay, now let's move on to the whole topic of this video. Hello, Susan. Let's do this. Here is the topic of the video. This is 10 alien powers that humans don't have. Will we ever get them? And actually, after channeling this list, I'm not sure I want them, to be honest with you. So 10 alien powers that humans don't have. And will we ever get them? I literally channeled this list because you can tell some of the way these things are worded are not ways that I would word things. I would not use the words in this combination. Frankly, I wouldn't even use these words. Again, basic model here. Okay. And I'm not digging on myself, man. I'm cool with my basic model. I'm rocking the basic model right now. So don't think that I'm being so critical because I love it. Okay. But it is, it is what it is. Okay. Number one, I don't know. The guides are on fire today. They got me all fired up. And I was not like this 5 minutes ago, to be honest with you. I did drink that coffee shot, but that has got nothing to do with anything. Okay. Let's do this. Number one is telepathy. Now, listen, I'm already going to be like having a conversation with these spirit guides because we have telepathy. Humans have telepathy. I've done a video on telepathy. I've done 2 videos on telepathy. It happens a lot more than you think. When you're thinking about going on vacation, but you haven't told anybody at work, but you're planning it with your spouse and you're planning it with, you're on a computer and you're visioning and you're getting ready to pull the trigger. And then you're like, I'm going to do it. I am going on vacation to this amazing place that we saved, we've plotted, we planned. And you go to work and your coworker, the one that you don't really like that much, says, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And it's the same damn place that you chose. Then you start thinking, how does this woman know? Right. And then you might have impure thoughts like, is she talking to my husband? You know what I mean? Because as humans, we want to figure it out. It's got to make sense in the 3D, right? In the actual 3D land we live in. But in reality, some of us are senders of information and some of us are receivers of information. And that has a little bit to do whether you're an empath or whether you're not an empath. Empaths are really good receivers, and people that aren't empaths are really good senders. But guess what? If you're a receiver, you can pick up what another receiver is sending because you're on that receiving wavelength. So it gets kind of complicated. But I would just say, for the sake of this list, that, yeah, I'm going to check this off for humans. I'm sorry. I think we already have this. Of course, they're showing me a picture of two aliens just like mind melding. And they're like, do you have this? No, we do not have this. We're beginners. Okay. Give us some time. We're beginners. And that's the point of this, right? Is that what do we have and what do we don't have? And are we going to get it? Right. So yeah, we're going to get more telepathy. I think this is why they put this on number 1, because this is the beginning of the list. Wait till you get to 10. You're not going to believe what number 10 is. Trust me on this one. Okay. Telepathy, number 1. Okay. I'll give them that. Now, the next thing, number 2, is intention-driven energy manipulation. Y'all, I would not have, but I just said y'all, that pretty much clues you in right now as to my vernacular or my vocabulary. Intention-driven energy manipulation. Okay. Do you know what they're talking about? Because I do. They're talking about driving a spaceship. That's what they're talking about. Intention-driven energy manipulation. So they drive their spaceships through their intention. I know this because honestly, I've done this. I got in trouble. It was a long story, but needless to say, I got it all cleared up. But you can, in these spaceships, you can drive the ship with your intention. You think up, you go up. You think down, you go down. You think swoop to the right, you're going to swoop to the right. It's a whole different way of interacting with energy, right? And humans we're going in this general direction, but we're a long way away. Whereas, yes, I think we do use telepathy way more than we think we do. We are a long way away from intention-driven energy manipulation. They're showing me right now. This is so funny because I can't remember what I have for breakfast, but then they're giving me this guy's name. I'm pretty sure if you asked me in 20 minutes, I would have no idea what you're talking about. Was it Uri Geller or something? Who was the guy that bent the spoons? There was somebody who bent spoons. They're saying that's in, I got to read the words, intention-driven energy manipulation. They're saying that's what this is. Also, they would be showing me people that punch through bricks or blocks or people that walk on fire. These are all ways in which your mind overcomes whatever the energy is. The hot coals, your mind overcomes that. The impact of the brick on your hand or your foot, your mind breaks through that barrier of, I can't do this. Right. So that's an important thing that they're giving us a clue to, that our mind can break through physical reality is what they want to say. The physical reality is that there is a piece of board here, and the physical reality is also this thing, which is also physical, broke this thing without harming this thing. And that is, they just said it's quantum physics. Any, rocket scientists watching this, let us know. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're saying this is quantum physics, this physical thing going through this physical thing with no harm to this physical thing. I am just the messenger. Honestly, I really am. I'm channeling this. Don't have any idea. So they're saying to us, whereas I was arguing with them on number 1, that we do have telepathy, they're arguing with me saying, oh, humans do have this intention-driven energy manipulation. It's just that it might be the beginning or nascent. This is the beginning of this process for humans. And it's there for us. We can investigate this. We can expand this, right? If more people wanted to expand this knowledge, belief system, I don't know what to describe it as, then we would be further along. We would be much further along. And they're telling me that the kids, they're showing me kids like toddlers or maybe just beneath school age. These children right now that are born on planet Earth are going to expand this, that they're, the word is, they're, I'm going to go particularly well suited to expand this knowledge, but also this belief. Does that make any sense? So these kids are going to grow up and they're going to be doing things that we're going to be like, how do you sustain your body's temperature when you're submerged in 20-degree water? Right? Like, and I see scientists really studying these kids because I think these kids are going to naturally want to test the boundaries of what we think is human frailty or human the physical abilities of the human body, the physical abilities of the human body. These children are going to be testing that. They're going to be able to, they're showing me also now a space travel, like in a capsule, they're going to be able to withstand longer or lower amounts of oxygen. There's just, our body is changing. This is something they have been saying for a while. We are ascending, our body's adapting to the new vibration of the earth, so our body's literally changing and we're going to be able to do more and more of these things. So that's very interesting. Number 3 is time travel. They also, and I wrote time travel because as humans, we understand it as time. They don't understand it as time. They would call it quantum space jumping. Quantum space jumping is one of the ways they would use to describe this. They're saying quantum space jumping does not really define what they do, but it's better than time travel. But they understand that I need to communicate in terms that humans understand. And that is why I do these videos. That's why I also channel the way I do, because I can channel 100%. I can go completely into a channeled space, a trance, and communicate this information to you. But they like the human component of it because they feel like humans engage more with other humans, and therefore this message will be better accepted and proliferated. You got me on that one. I know the word they're trying to say, but I don't think that's exactly the right usage of the word. But that's okay. We're gonna be good with that. So right now humans. Right. Okay. Right now, humans time travel in their conscious, in their subconscious, in their astral travel. Okay. So right now when we're sleeping, we time travel. Again, this word is not correct, but I'm going to continue using it because it's how we understand this process. We do time travel. We do quantum jump when we are asleep. Humans will begin quantum jumping because it's a way that we can heal ourselves. So there's like they just showed me, gosh, come on, y'all. They're giving me too many words at once, but they just showed me, let's say a travel tour group. You know what I mean? I mean, really, this is for real, a travel tour group, because humans tend to capitalize things, right? We really do. We tend to say, hey, I can make money doing that, right? And then we capitalize on it. So there will be groups that quantum space jump. Again, this is through astral traveling, but they'll be well aware. You will join a group, and the leader of that group will be able to create a conducive environment for the group to, as a whole, go to another planet and experience that together. And this person will be, for all intents and purposes, your travel guide, your guide. And this is something that's coming. So instead of only doing it when we're asleep and not really knowing what we experienced very often, or experiencing it in this way that I'm channeling, like they're saying, actually, these people, this is kind of cool. I want to do this. These people will be able to experience going to space, and 40% of them will, 40% of their physical being, their physical understanding, their mental memory will experience it and remember it. So it's much better than a dream. It's 40%. I mean, sure, it's not 100%, but it's very good for humans, because going back to humans having an ascension process right now, for us to have this experience where we can astral travel and bring and not bring back, but hold on to 40% of our feeling, knowing, seeing, hearing, our physical senses, is a big deal. And it's not something that the human apparatus could be able to handle in, say, 1940. In 1940, our human apparatus could not handle this. In 1990, there was, that's a big difference in the ability to handle this. In 2023, an even greater ability. And as we go towards 2050, you're going to be looking at even 60%. So even 60% of your physical senses are going to be able to experience that. You'll come back from that meditation having really felt like you were there. They're telling me there's a big difference between 40 and 60%. So the 40%, maybe, I don't know what I just said, 2050, maybe in 2030, we'll be in like a 40%. They're saying barely. We'll be in like a 30%. And then between 2030 and 2050, somehow we're going to get up to like, 60%, which is going to be immense. Now, again, this is not everybody, because not everybody even wants to do this. And they're saying one would have to prepare one's body. And one does that by meditating and believing, trusting, having faith, having a higher vibration. So you're preparing your body in this sense for these new things that are coming on board. And perhaps they should have told us that from the very beginning. Like, shouldn't that be like a preamble? Like, but anyway, here we are. This is when they said it. And apparently this is important for me to say it right now. Okay. I don't know. I'm channeling. I literally don't know what I just said. So that's why I had to create a list so that I would stay on topic. I'm going to go to the next topic, which is self-healing. Aliens can self-heal. They heal. Should they need healing? Okay. They want to say that space travel, and I'm not using the right words, but I'm using the words that humans can understand. The process of space travel can be hard on their energy bodies. Their energy containers is what they want to call them. And so sometimes they do need to heal. And to heal, for them to be able to heal themselves, they really need to be in a stasis. So they need to stop whatever they're doing. Like they just need to stop. They can't be healing themselves and traveling, or healing themselves and doing something else. So they don't need to go to a special center. They simply need to go into stasis. Once they go into stasis, it's sort of like the cocoon when a caterpillar butterfly transformation. Once they go into the stasis mode, then they can heal. Now, they want to make a distinction that this stasis and this healing is not healing great big issues. It's healing weary. It's almost like sleeping. They're like, for you, it would be like you go into sleep to recharge, to regenerate. And that really does have some healing capacity for humans. This is what we would be calling this kind of, we need to go into stasis to heal. It's not to regenerate. It's really to heal. Okay. Now they want to make the distinction that there are situations where they need more healing. They need more attention, specific and expertise healing, at which point they are able to go to a place that would offer that healing. Now, here they want to also make the distinction that there are different alien species, and that there are some places that can heal any alien species. Okay. places, meaning a ship or a planet or an outpost or whatever you want to call that, because there are multiple different things. However, they would liken it to us having a great big medical center versus having a little clinic. Okay. So you would need to go, if you wanted to just go to any, if you needed to go to a place where any species can be healed, it would be a big medical center, so to speak. Now, if you need some pretty specific healing that's more than you can do on your own, and you're a certain type of species, you would really need to find the smaller clinic that can help that species. It's species specific. Okay. There are smaller clinics that can handle 2 or 3 species, but to go to a very diverse healing center, you would need to go to the bigger medical center, so to speak. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully all that made sense. And then as far as humans becoming self-healing, I didn't know we were going to do this video like this, but apparently we are. I didn't know we were going to be jumping back and forth from human to alien, but sometimes they are, and I'm doing whatever they whatever comes out. So as far as humans being able to self-heal, we have this capacity. Again, they're saying, go back to the energy of the intention-driven energy manipulation. It's the same thing. It's believing you're more than your physical container. You have the ability to work with energy in a way that transcends your human container. Go back to the scene of the hand chopping the block. That transcends the human container, the fingers, the bones, all of that. Somehow you transcended it. You transcended that because your hand did not break. Your feet did not burn on the coals. It's the same thing. As humans begin to push the bounds of intention-driven energy manipulation in the way that they've been talking about, that more these small children will be able to push past the human physical container's limitations, then that also lends itself to self-healing. Once we believe that we are not separate from the universe, that we are indeed a part of the universe, and we have, and when I raise my hands up, I know it gets dark. That's a sense of the camera. Once we believe that we can heal ourselves, then we will be able to heal ourselves. They're saying something like 80 to 90% of the time, which is frustrating. I don't see us getting to 100%. And that's something to do with Earth and our soul contracts and other things. But, 70, 80% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, we're going to be able to heal ourselves. This is coming to humans. This is as we ascend, as we know that love is the answer, that there is no judgment. There is no judgment. I guess that's what I'm going to say. There is no judgment of ourselves being different from God or being different from source. There's no judgment of us being better than or less than someone else. As the separation, and you want to focus on separation, the more we believe that we're separate from whatever source is, whatever God is for you, the more we believe we're separate from them, the more we're stuck in our human container. As we understand that we are one and the same, all of us are one and the same in our divinity, in our connection to the source, then we'll have alien-like or source-like abilities. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I'm going to go on. There are some, if you guys watch me, you know that I like to laugh, and my spirit guys like to laugh, and it raises our vibration. So my next thing, and this isn't really funny because this has happened to me, but my next thing is number 5 is human abduction. Okay. Human abduction. Yes, this has happened to me. I have been abducted. I am an experiencer. As I said in the beginning of this video, I feel some kind of way about it. I don't know. I got some feelings about this. So yeah, alien powers, that one of their powers is that they can abduct us. They can suck us up or whatever it is that they do into their laboratories or their spaceships. So that is something that they can do that we don't do. And this is a complicated subject. I'm going to do a whole video on this because I can't tell you right now. They just showed me in that little pause that I took, I saw an entire movie of many different things. One of the things is humans abducting other humans, slaves, right? Humans abducting other humans. They would say potentially even in the draft, enlisting in the draft. You don't have a choice. You have to join the draft. That is abducting somebody. That's taking somebody against their will. Now they would say, we are not always abducting people against their will. There are contracts. In my experience, I know that my grandmother on my dad's side had a contract. Whether this was, it's complicated. It's a complicated thing. I can just tell you that I have my alien experiences on my dad's side. I have my psychic mediumship experiences on my mom's side. Neither one of them believed in this stuff. My dad would joke about it, but neither one of them believed in this stuff. And certainly my dad's mom never told me, hey, honey, I got to sit down and have the talk with you. Not only are you coming into puberty and you should know about sex ed, but you know what? There's this alien thing on my side of the family. And guess what? You're chosen. It seems like my mother's mother signed this contract and now we all got to participate in this thing. You know, nobody sat down and had the alien talk with me, right? I just know this because I've regressed myself. I've done a lot of spiritual work. And I saw it. I saw the abduction. I saw my grandmother looking at me with this knowing of you will do this. This is something we do. And it's complicated. It's very complicated because I think that look, you guys, according to my Akashic records, I have 4 freaking lifetimes on this planet. And not only on this planet, they made it a point to say in the Milky Way. So I'm not very human. I was an alien. I was a frog, like a few lifetimes ago. Look, I probably gave them permission, but in my human consciousness, in my human understanding of what is up, what is down, what is this desk, what is these walls, what is my life, my job, paying, my bills? That's all my human understanding of what's happening. So then when you start getting these memories of being abducted, it doesn't freaking fit in nobody told you, right? Like there's nothing in our community or in our civilization and our society that explains this to you. So it's a complicated thing. I do think personally that there are abductions that are not free will, I do think that in those cases, some parent was abducted, perhaps in free will, and gave, it's complicated. I really can't get into it right now. I would just say to you that if you feel some kind of way about aliens, if they freak you out, they make you upset, they make you feel weird or scared, that's an indication that you've had an unpleasant experience with an alien. It doesn't mean all of your experiences are going to be unpleasant, and it doesn't mean that you can't stop that. If you have no feelings about aliens, you're like, it's kind of interesting, but I could take it or leave it. In my opinion, you have not had many experiences with aliens. If you love aliens, you can't get enough, you want to read everything or watch everything, or you're just interested in them to the degree that you find yourself picking out that show about aliens, maybe you don't have all the books, maybe you're not a member of, one of these groups, but you just find it interesting. You've had good experiences with aliens. That's how I categorize it. I could be wrong, but in my experience talking to my clients, this is kind of what comes out. So human abduction, they would say that it's as complicated as humans are complicated. There is a free will in the alien community as well as in the human community, and it gets very confusing because sometimes people give up their free will without even knowing that they're doing it. That's a very important point. Where in your life are you giving up your free will without even thinking about it? Where are you going along with someone who doesn't have your best interest in their heart, be it a boss, a spouse, a child, an adult child, a community, a culture, a church, whatever it is, that's giving up your free will. It's the same thing. And when you give up your free will, when you do something that you don't want to do, that you kind of don't feel exactly happy about, then you're as above, so below. So if you're doing that in your earth life, then you are also doing that in your spiritual life. As above, so below. When we put down boundaries in our earth life and we say, hey, I don't like it when you treat me like that. I don't like it when you don't show up. I don't like it when you show up late. I don't like it when you talk to me like that. I'm not going to continue giving you money. Whatever it is, we put down boundaries. Here in the physical plane, it's mirrored on the astral plane. So if you're having problems on the astral plane, if you're having problems, meaning you feel like you are abducted, or you've got ghosts, or you've got poltergeist, or you got, shit going down in your house, then you can start to fix it down here on the physical plane by putting down boundaries and taking care of yourself and realizing you are not prey. You are not a victim. Don't be a victim. Don't be prey. Don't let these people take advantage of you on the physical plane. That'll fix a lot of your problems on the astral plane. Okay, that's the message. I'm going to move on to number 6, energy consumption through crystals or other forms not considered food by humans. I did a WoW video about this where I talked about what do aliens eat, right? Do they eat? How do they get energy? Because the aliens told me we expend energy. We need to have energy. They're calling it somebody's law. I don't know if it's Newton's law. I don't know. Energy out, energy in. There's some kind of physics with this. They're saying now we don't expend energy like you guys do because we're one with the energy. We're better able to flow with the energy. So we don't expend energy like you do. You're in a very dense planet, a gravity dense planet, and you expend energy like nobody's business, right? So we don't need to consume energy like you do. However, we do need to consume energy. And they told me at that time they consume energy through crystals. They can get energy through crystals. They also use crystals as an energy source for their vehicles, for their spaceships. They, can plug a crystal in, and that crystal powers up. It powers up the vehicle. Now, some vehicles, they can power up with their own energy, but it's a very small vehicle. It would be a very small vehicle that they would power with their own energy, but it would not be something that they would want to do. They're showing me a golf cart, like a golf cart compared to like a car, right? You're not going to drive somewhere in your golf cart. You're going to drive a very short distance because it has a limited energy source. So they do use crystals. They can also get energy from each other. So they can form an energy pack. When I say pack, I think I mean like a pack of animals. I'm seeing like a group, and I'm seeing like a circle of these beings, and they're able to they don't even touch each other because, again, everything is in tension. So they can power up. The words they're using is power up, and it comes from it feels like from their chest, from this area, that they power up. They all send out this intention of this energy. If you can imagine a ring of these beings, and the energy comes out of their chest and it sort of forms a cone. That cone somehow compounds or expands like a centrifugal, like it expands because the power of the many, and then that comes back down, and it's just like boom. And it's a very quick, it's very quick that it happens like this. They want to say that, again, different species have different energy requirements. Different species have different gravity settings. Gravity is different, a density. Let's call it dense. They're different species or different densities. Okay. And again, I don't know, man. I'm not a physics person. But having said that, when I see a circle, they have to be species or entities that are of a similar power pack or a similar wavelength of power. Because if they had, let's say that I'm seeing, like, let's just say that I'm seeing a green, what do y'all call those? Gray. Y'all call them gray aliens, whatever. They're bigger. They're green and they're big. Okay. Let's just say that I'm seeing your typical green alien that looks like it's about, to me, they look like they're about 6 feet to 7 feet tall. Now, let's say if we added to that mix a lizard or some sort of reptilian species. Well, the reptilian species is dense. Their energy is really dense. And what they're showing me is all of these other aliens, their energy would be sucked into that, like a heat sink. I don't know what that is. All their energy would be sucked into that. And it wouldn't even help the reptilian because it's like it blows circuits. It's not the same circuitry. It's not the same wattage. So you wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be compatible. That's the word. It wouldn't be compatible. So hopefully that gives you some food for thought. I'm going to move on to life longevity. So another thing is that, wait a minute, they want to go back and talk about human consumption. Okay, hold on. They want to go back and talk about humans are ascending because we are going to be eating better nutrition, better food, better molecularly designed nutrition in 2050, 2060, 2070, 2080. Feels like 2080 that this becomes a thing, but it seems introduced in 2050. There will be space food, basically, right? We're going to create this molecular nutritious food and people can eat it instead of it's going to be better living through chemistry. But they assure me, they're assuring me that humans in 20 whatever I said 50 whatever 2060, we're going to understand that pesticides are bad. We're going to understand what's killing us. We're going to understand what's bad for the human body, and we're going to also understand how greed has taken over our health, taken over our consciousness, and how it's killing us. Greed is killing us. So there will be things that will be completely off the market, like food you will not, that's not exactly correct. You will be able to sell food that is not nutritious, but human understanding of this will have increased so much that the majority of people will not consume it. It's going to flip the script because right now poor people consume non-nutritious food because there's grocery store deserts. They can't find nutritious food and they can't afford nutritious food. And we're fed a diet of commercials that advertise poor food, and poor food is addictive. It has addictive ingredients. So the script gets flipped in like 2060, where humans understand that they want to eat this space food, which is very nutritious, and the people that eat the bad food are the wealthy people. I don't understand it. That's what they're telling me. It's like I don't understand it, but we have, whatever 40 years, whatever, to get there. So that's interesting to me. It at least it gives me hope that we're going to understand that pesticides are bad, that greed is bad when it comes to food, when it comes to healthcare. I've often said this, Susan, part of this combination has often said, get your capitalism fix through clothes, through things I don't need. Right? Like, if you want to charge a lot of money for a brand, great, go for that. Right. But capitalism should not be involved in things that for survival. for survival. You shouldn't be able to make a huge profit off of food. You shouldn't be able to make a huge profit off of energy. There's just certain things that humans need to survive. And I think those things shouldn't be capitalized on. Healthcare is a big one. Capitalize on something else, you know, that's fine, that I don't need, but that I choose to purchase. Okay, let's move on to the next thing is life longevity. Life longevity is aliens do not live forever. Okay, this is the first thing they want to say. They don't live forever, but they do live, you know, several hundred years, depending, even 800 years. The apparatus of their physical energetic apparatus will wear out with time. They do, what is the word? Experience. They do experience aging. It's different in the same. That's interesting. They're showing me an old alien and a new young alien. And it is very similar in the sense that the old alien is not as flexible, not as, you know, not as young, not able to do all those things. But again, the old alien has wisdom, right? So it's a very similar construct that humans experience, but it's expanded. It's much more expanded. They live for much longer. And when they do cease to exist, is the words they want to use, meaning their apparatus ceases to exist, they can get a new apparatus, just like humans get a new apparatus. Our soul is energy. Their soul is energy. Our soul is energy. It lives forever. It doesn't change. It doesn't die it never dies. Also, something else I will add in this little number 7 is that when humans, and I've wanted to talk about this for a long time, and I'm going to do a video on this, but I see a queue of souls trying to get to Earth. I've always seen this. There's a queue of souls being like Disney World, like they're in a line, y'all, to get here. Like, what are y'all thinking? Have y'all lost your minds? It is an honor to be on Earth. It is considered a real treat, a real honor, because whatever your soul is before it comes to Earth, it changes and on Earth, because we have such a unique place here where we can experience all the emotions and we can experience all the choices. We can choose to be, you know, a murderer. We can choose to be someone who's a saint, or someone who's a good do-gooder. We can choose to be whatever we want here. And that is sheer, it's like a test. You know, you're going to go down, you're going to go down this ski slope. Can I make it? Can I dodge the trees? Can I go over that mogul, right? Or driving a fast car, can I make that turn, right? Like it's exhilarating. The thought of having this expansive, no holds barred existence is exhilarating to them, because this experience doesn't really exist on very many other planets. Like maybe very few, maybe a handful less, do you get this kind of Wild West, no holds barred experience. Now, when you come through this, you know, bad Disneyland is like I like to call it sometimes. But anyway, when you get through the other side and you cross over, it's your choice whether you come back or not. But the thing I want to talk about is how your soul changes. Your soul is now expanded because it experienced all of these things. So not to be judgmental, but just for descriptor, your soul might have came in this big and left this big. We're talking energy here. The energy of the soul might have been this big, and now it's this big. When your soul leaves planet Earth and you decide to, just like an alien, when the alien decides to reincarnate, they can choose a new container for their energy, but they're not going to go from, say, a tall green alien to a lizard, a reptilian body, because the circuitry is completely different. Literally, it's like 120 circuitry versus 220 circuitry. And 220 is not any better than 120. It's just simply different. But so when humans come out of their human experience, their soul, because it's expanded, is going to have to find a new container. It cannot just go into any alien container. It has to go into a certain container that can handle that circuitry. Now, what's even more fascinating to me, they just showed me those people that have been doing this loop, signing back up for bad Disneyland, for say 500 times, God bless your souls. Your container, whereas my container is going to come out if I don't incarnate again, it might be this big, right? Because I went in this big and I got my experiences and I came out this big. If you're 700 lives here, your container is going to be immense. Immense. Now, something else that I should point out, they're telling me is I came into this earth reincarnation loop or incarnation loop. It doesn't mean that I was a brand new soul. I could be an immense soul coming into earth souls and then going out bigger. So you can be an old soul and not have had very many lifetimes as a human. It's all about your energy container, what it is. It is what it is. It doesn't, there's no judgment because it's all love. Everything is love. Everything is accepted. Everything is cherished. There's something to cherish about the brand new soul. And there's something to cherish about the old wise soul. It's all 100% unconditional love. Don't ask me how I got off on that. I don't even know what I'm just going to leave that there and go to number 8, because otherwise it's going to be tomorrow and I'm still going to be talking to you. And I got things to do, actually. I've got, things to do. Okay, so let's move on to number 8. And honestly, I'm telling you, number 10 is worth sticking around for. So if you have to leave this video, come back for number 10. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, number 8, complete energetic consciousness, one with the energy. So this what they're talking about is that complete energetic consciousness. They are one. Back to separation. Humans go through the birth canal of incarnation, and we believe we're separated because we have amnesia. We believe we're separated from source, from all that is, from God, whatever that is for you. We believe it. We believe we're here on our own. And we believe that this is a table and I am human. Separation. Aliens understand there is no separation. They are woven into the fabric of energy. Energy is them. They are energy. They are literally no separation. Now, they want to talk about in the human environment. They initially brought up elephants to describe this. I understand that elephants can, through their feet, can feel the earth. They can feel when other elephants are having problems. They can feel earth changes. They may be able to sense weather through their feet, right? But also all animals are very connected to energy. Birds, they've done studies where they've shown that even pets can sense when an earthquake is coming, or livestock can sense when a weather change is coming. This is telling us, they're here to show us, to teach us that if these animals can be one with the energy and understand there's a storm coming, or my elephant peeps need my help, we can too. Animals are here to show us there is no separation. Our lesson is right here before us. So aliens experience complete energetic consciousness, and we can too. We're, especially us empaths, right? We feel things, we know things, we sense things, but we don't understand why. And we don't understand how to use it. So as we continue our ascension and the veil thins and our abilities widen and we're able to understand on a more prolific, a more immense way, then we'll understand ourselves that we can remove separation, that we can be one with the energy. Even in your daily life, you can be one with the energy. How does the energy feel today for me running my errands this morning? How does the energy feel today for me running my errands in the afternoon? Just start working with it on your own. In the beginning, you may not feel anything. You may not know anything. But if you keep asking the question and keep asking to work with the energy, you'll start, it's sort of like you start out slow and then you gain and gain and gain and gain. And now you can be closer to being one with the energy. And it makes all the difference in the world. If you're not in step with the energy, you're often dropping things, tripping over things, things are going wrong. And instead, what you try to do is you try to control. I need to be more careful. You get down on yourself. Susan, why are you dropping things? What's wrong with you? That's resistance. So instead, if you say, oh, I'm dropping things. Oh, I'm tripped. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me sense. Let me slow down. Let me get in the energy instead of fighting the energy. So that's very interesting. And I'm going to move on to 9. And 9 is healing of other species. So yes, aliens can heal other species. We talked about this earlier with self-healing. We talked about how, oh, I see. Oh, okay. What they mean is not right. Okay. They do mean healing of other species. When they say species, I think aliens, because that's what they call themselves. They can heal other species. We did talk about that in number 4, self-healing, but they're specifically actually wanted to say healing of humans. So really number 9 should be, never mind. They say, no, it's species. Okay, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. Healing of other species, but do you want me to talk about healings? They said, we want to talk about species. Okay, fine. They want to talk about species. Tell me exactly what you're saying here, because I don't understand. Okay, they can heal. Oh. They can heal the earth. They can heal rivers. They can heal humans. They can heal your pets. They can heal livestock. They can heal consciousness. These aliens, some of these aliens can heal entire species. That they won't stop saying the word species. I'm sorry. So in my human understanding of what they were trying to say when I wrote this list was humans, and I would like for them to just address that, because we haven't addressed that. And they can heal humans. If humans are ready to be healed, they can ask for healing and they can heal us. Now, understand what they said. If humans are ready to be healed, we often think we beg for healing. We pray for healing. What they mean is, this is a head thing. In our head, we're asking to be healed. In our head, we're praying. That's not energy. That's thought. And we're not to that point where intention-driven energy manipulation, we're not there yet. So it would be helpful if humans took the thought and brought it down into this heart and solar plexus area. Remember how they talked about the aliens getting together and being in a pack or a circle, and this energy emanating from their chest and then going up and then creating a bigger energy, which came down and invigorated and healed them. They talked about that with energy, increasing their energy. They would like us to get out of our head and get into our body. When we drop, spiritual people always say, now drop into your belly button. I'm like, how the hell you do that? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, how do you do that? How do you drop into your solar plexus? You know what I mean? People use these words that I think humans are like, okay, fine, sure. I would like an order of fries with that Big Mac. I mean, we're in human land. We don't understand what this means, right? So what they're saying is, as humans continue to ascend, as humans continue to expand, as humans continue to believe that they're more than their human body, that there is more than this physical construct, and that the energy in the physical construct can emanate out of the physical construct. And there isn't separation. It's really about separation. We are not separated. This is a wrong belief. This is not true. We are always one. As we understand that, believe that, trust that, then we're going to be able to get out of our thinking brain, because our thinking brain doesn't believe that. Our thinking brain believes that this is a desk, and our consciousness knows that this desk is a construct. It's not real. So as we allow our thinking brain to go sit over there and take a break, and you can use the word imagine. I imagine this energy coming into my heart or my solar plexus. In my experience, when you say I imagine, the brain takes a break. The brain is like, you're talking to your subconscious. You're not talking to me. I'm going to go over here. Let me know when you're done. So that's a really quick shortcut to even use your psychic abilities. If I were to imagine what my boss is thinking, what would I imagine my boss is thinking? I'm telling you, it's going to open up the door to your subconscious. So imagine this energy coming into your solar plexus, into the pit of your stomach. I'm bringing love and light into my stomach, into the bottom of my stomach. Just, it takes a little practice, because some of us are really analytical. And those of us that are super analytical, it's harder for us to do this type of work. Not impossible, but it takes a little more effort. So just start putting the effort in. It's just like anything. You're not going to be an expert at first. You're going to be wobbly. You're not going to get results at first, or maybe you'll get uneven results. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but you start somewhere, continue to do the work, and you will see the results. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about, number 10, is, I don't even know what to say about this. I swear to God, I don't, because they blew my mind when this happened. And I don't want this. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, as a human, I don't want this. I refuse this. Number 10 is procreation through thought. Y'all, they just thinking about each other and getting knocked up. No, that is wrong. That is wrong. I'm telling you right now, I am not, if I am going to reincarnate back into my alien old self, what kind of birth control do I need? For real. Like, for real. I'm not even kidding y'all. I'm not kidding. This just triggers me. Like, first of all, I feel like it violates my own personal space. Oh, they're saying it has to be consensual. Well, of course. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Oh my God. It's an energetic connection, a mutual energetic connection of two energies that are superbly connected, meaning that the energy connection is going to be of the highest vibration. Okay, so look, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. So they're not getting together. The aliens aren't getting together and creating, low vibration energies. They're getting together and creating the highest vibration offspring that they can. There's a caveat. We talked about species. We talked about density. There's obviously aliens that are of a high vibration. I mean, almost angelic. I'm grabbing my ears because I'm clairaudient and I just heard this high pitch. Not externally, but internally. And it was like, whenever I talk about angels, I hear them singing, and it's so high pitched, and sometimes it's much. So when there are species that are high vibration, and then there's species, because there's everything. We don't, even off of the planet Earth, there's a mixture. It's not meant to be homeostatic, homeostasis. It's not meant to be white bread. It's not meant to all be the same. We need that. We need that mixture. Like, what if we had all the same plants? That would be, it wouldn't work. They're saying it would fail. That environment would fail. Environments need a mixture of vibrations to be successful. So, having said that, my caveat is that if you're a denser, let's just use the word denser, because lower would connotate or connote, or I don't know what word that is, judgment. We don't want to be judgmental, but we want to point out that there's a density. There's a density. Okay. So these heavier density entities, species, their highest vibration of their energetic procreation is not as high as this. But in this way, the fact that the species are procreating only when they can create a higher vibratory being means that all space species, galactic species, are ascending. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. You know, if any time you have an energetic, what are the words used? Procreation, you're ascending, because every time you're creating more and more, even if you're a lower density. I just work here. I just work here on planet Earth. I am a channeler. I'm a message giver. I don't even know what to say about everything I just said right now. I think my head is spinning. I don't even know what to say. But I'm glad that when I cross back over to, because they're telling me I don't need to come back. I feel sad about that. To be honest with you, I feel sad about it, because I love nature. I love the streams and the rivers and the trees and the sky. I don't love some things about planet Earth, but I love those things about planet Earth, right? And I feel like I also love how I connect with those things, right? As a human, I can taste and smell and touch and feel the wind on me. And these are things that you don't experience after you've crossed over as a human or as an alien. You don't experience those things. Do you experience other things? Absolutely. You have a different palette of experiences. They're not the same. You don't taste, you don't feel like you do as a human. That's why Bad Disney is a place everybody wants to come to. At Bad Disneyland, it's like there's a queue. They can't get here fast enough, right? And also that queue is part of the ascension process for planet Earth and for humans, because when those of us who weren't human, 10 lifetimes ago or 20 lifetimes ago or 50 lifetimes ago, we have a different vibration. It doesn't make us better. It really doesn't. It actually makes us kind of pissed off because we haven't been here long enough. And we're like, why the hell are you doing that? What's up with this? We're actually like just PO'd most of the time, because we don't understand why you're raping and pillaging the earth, and why greed is such a thing, and why are people lying, and it's very hard. We're not happy people. We're kind of not happy people, but we're operating, our energy, our frequency is disturbing, probably because we're pissed off, but we're disturbing, we're shaking up, whereas a lot of the people that have been incarnating here for hundreds of years, they've add layer of lifetimes to their energy. And so they're wiser. Oh, they've already seen that. They've already experienced this, and they experienced this, and they experienced this. They're calmer. They're old earth souls are calmer. It's hard to get them upset. It's hard to get them, to react in many ways. I mean, they will, but it's harder. New Earth souls are just like, what the hell? This is the worst place. You're going on the galactic Google and rating it 2 stars. I would not come here, would not revisit. Right. So, but our energy is new. So it's vibrating differently to the earthling's energy. We came here to be disruptors. We came here to raise the vibration because we come with a completely different vibration. So by all of us incarnating, and I'm probably one of the beginning, I think I'm on the 2nd or 3rd wave, but the first 1, 2, 3 waves were small. We were small groups. Now you see waves coming in that are tremendous, huge. Maybe even the majority of waves coming in are new souls or newer souls to Earth, and they're going to change this place. Remember what they said, these kids that are, babies now, that are young kids now, they're going to stretch the human perception of what the human body can do. They're going to stretch it. They're going to stay underwater for 8 or 10 or 20 minutes or whatever. They're going to stay in cold water longer than anybody else. They're going to do the mind meld. They're going to bend things with their mind. This is, human version, 10.0 or whatever. This is the new version of humans. And these new humans are not going to take over the population. That wouldn't make any sense, right? They're going to interbreed with humans that have been here sort of in the middle of their incarnating, maybe 200 times or something like that. They're going to breed with people that have been here 800 times, because this is how you get the change. You marry the two things. You marry those 2 different types of energies. So I hope this has been interesting, informative, mind-blowing. I don't even know at this point what to say. I am Susan Lynn. Thank you so much for joining me and staying to the end, or maybe you turned this off and came back to it 5 times. But anyway, you found yourself here at the end of this video. Thank you so much. I will put a playlist link to all my WOW videos. I'm telling you, there's over 30 videos. There's probably, by the time you watch this, there might be 100 videos. I don't know. There's a lot. And you can click this link that I'll put on the screen shortly, and you can check out some of the other videos. You might find something else that might be interesting to you. Also, please leave a comment below. Let me know your questions. Let me know your experiences, your thoughts. I love reading your comments. And lastly, if you like this content, subscribe, because every Wednesday I'm going to drop a video that's going to be way out there for sure. Okay. Take really, really good care of yourselves. I'll see you again right here on this channel, probably next Wednesday.